Start.
Good evening, everyone. Today our group is going to do the product lifecycle analysis of Worldlink. So, our group includes me, Sakar, and Khusbu. I'm just gonna briefly explain about the product lifecycle before like moving towards its analysis. So, moving forward, next slide, please. Yep. So the life cycle basically is a concept that describes the different stages or product goes through from its introduction to its eventual decline. Uh, Basically, the four stages of a product life cycle includes the introductory, growth, maturity, and declining stage. And each stage represents different challenges and opportunities for a product. And understanding them is a very vital part for any businesses in order to make informed decision about its marketing and production strategies. Now, putting aside the production strategy, we are going to talk about the marketing strategy in our presentation. The company that we had previously selected in module 5 was a Worldlink. So today we are trying to discuss or trying to define the marketing objectives that could be set by Worldlink during the different stages of product life cycle. Worldlink is the leading internet service provider in Nepal. As a company, Worldlink offers different range of product and services that are subject to the product life cycle. Uh, Moving forward, next slide, please. Yeah, thank you. Here are some of the marketing objectives that the Worldlink will set in each stage of product life cycle. So first of all, in the introductory stage. The introductory stage is basically the first stage of the product life cycle where the product is first introduced in the market. At this stage, the product is completely new and the market and the consumers are unfamiliar with the product. In the introductory stage, Worldlinks will basically focus on creating the awareness about its new product and general interest among the potential consumers. The marketing objective that Worldlink should stay set in this stage are, first of all, it should like focus on creating a unique selling proposition. Worldlink should try to identify its unique features and benefits of the product and use them to create a compelling unique selling proposition that differentiate it from its competitors. The unique selling point could be like the use of 5G in their internet services and etc. So the second is it should focus on establishing a proper distribution channel. Like Worldlinks will identify key distribution channels and partners to it make its product easily accessible to potential customers. So like it could establish different distributors at major city points throughout the country in first stage, of course, and later on after it reaches in different stages, it could like focus on creating distribution channel throughout the whole country. The third one is building brand recognition. Worldlinks will invest in advertising and public relations to build brand recognition and generate interest in the product. Worldlinks will also offer promotions to encourage early adoption of the new product in its market. And finally, the in introductory stage, the Worldlinks will also focus in targeting its early adopters. Worldlink can like target its early adopters by encouraging various kind of promotions and discounts in the product and services that they are trying to sell. And Worldlinks will also at the same time actively seek feedback from early adopters to improve the product and address any issues or concerns. So on to the next slide. So in the growth stage, so basically the growth stage is the second stage of the product life cycle where the product gains certain traction in the market, and at this stage sales begins to grow at a certain rapidly as more people become aware of the product and begin to purchase it. In growth stage, Worldlink can focus on leveraging its existing customer base to drive growth and increase market share. Here are some specific marketing objectives that Worldlink can set in this stage. So first of all, it can focus on developing a referral program. Worldlink can incentivize its existing customers to refer their friends and family to try the product by offering such as discounts, free service for a month, or exclusive access to new products. Worldlink can motivate its satisfied customer to become brand advocates and help expand its customer base. So on the next point, the thing that they can do in the growth stage is like they can focus on creating customer communities. Worldlink can create both online or offline communities where customers can connect with each other and share their experiences with the product. This can help build the brand loyalty and encourage repeat purchase as customer feels sense of belongingness and connection with the brand. The In growth stage, the Worldlink can also invest in influencer marketing, where Worldlink can partners with influencers or micro influencers who have a strong following in its target market by featuring the product in their content. These influencers can help raise awareness of the product and encourage trial among their followers. Uh, in real life, also, Worldlink has been actively using influencer marketing in order to increase their customer bases, uh, expand. So at the uh, Worldlink can also focus on expanding in product line during this stage, as Worldlink can expand its product line to appeal to wider range of customers and increase its market shares. Moving on to the next slide. The maturity stage. The maturity stage is basically the third stage of a product life cycle where sales growth begins to slow down. At this stage, the product has reached its peak and has achieved widespread market acceptance. In maturity stage, Worldlinks will focus on maintaining the market share, defending against its competitors, and maximizing profitability. The marketing objectives that Wordlinks will set in this stage are maintain. First of all, it should like focus on maintaining the market share. Wordlinks will invest heavily in advertising and promotion to maintain its market share and defending against the competitors at this stage. Wordlinks will invest in product improvements and innovation to differentiate the product from competitors and extend its product life cycle. It should also focus on heavily on building the customer loyalty as it should invest heavily in loyalty programs, customer service, and customer engagement activities to build customer loyalty and encourage repeat purchase. And at last, it should also focus on maximizing the profitability at this stage. At Worldlink should optimize its pricing strategies to maximize profitability. This may involve adjusting prices based on market conditions or offering discounts or promotion to encourage purchase. And finally, on to the next slide, the decline stage. The decline stage is the final stage of product life cycle where sales begins to decline, and at this stage, the market becomes saturated, and the product may become obsolete at certain time or even may be replaced by newer and better products and services. In the declining stage, Worldlinks will focus on maximizing profit by cutting cost and reducing investment in its product or services. The marketing objectives that Worldlinks will set in this stage are maintaining customer base. So Worldlinks will offer incentives such as discounts and loyalty programs in order to maintain its existing customer base, and at the same time trying to like maximize the profit at this point. And Worldlink also will try to reduce the marketing expenses at this point and like focus mainly on the profitable segments of the market. And if like the worst comes to worst, it will also like focus on discontinuing the product uh, as the Worldlinks will consider discontinuing the product if it is no longer profitable or if it is being replaced by the newer and better products of itself or of by its competitors. And the Worldlink also can find new uses for the product, as it can explore new market or new use for the product to extract additional values at this point, and like try to gain some profit or maximize the profit from the product that they are providing in the market. And in conclusion, the marketing objectives that the Worldlinks will set in each stage of the product life cycle will completely depend on the specific characters of the product, the competitive landscape, and the needs and preferences of the target market. By adapting the market strategies to each stage of the product life cycle, Worldlink can maximize the profitability and stay ahead of the competition. So, by saying this, I would like to conclude my part and called Sakar for his presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, Rahul. So, hello
Well,
everyone. I am Sakar and I'll be explaining about marketing mix for WorldLink under its product lifecycle stages. So, I'll just begin with price. So, pricing, as we all know, is one of the most important marketing mix elements. So, during the introduction stage, a company's primary objective is to build awareness about its new product or service. So, pricing strategies should for an ISP company should focus on market penetration, which means we need to set a lower price in order to attract a larger customer base. So for WorldLink, during the introduction stage, the pricing strategy was it was lower than what the market average used to be. So since WorldLink was established in 1995, so there was only one competition to WorldLink back then. It was Nepal Telecom. So it was Nepal Telecom. So it while establishing the pricing strategy, it used a penetration pricing strategy. That means it has priced its services low to gain market share and to attract new consumers. So the company offered unlimited dial-up internet access for a monthly fee of rupees 500. So that was the cheapest among the prices that were charged by competitors. So at that time, it was around 2,000 or 3,000 per month by its competitors, Nepal Telecom and Mercantile Company, which were the internet pioneers in Nepal. So at that time, Worldlink established itself as a in a penetrative state by offering prices of around 500 rupees. So that was how Worldlink developed its pricing strategy during introduction phase. During the growth stage, so the basic goal of the company would be to build the momentum established in the introduction phase and to increase the market share. So in this particular stage, the pricing strategy should be focused on market scheming, which means setting up higher price points to maximize profit from the most willing and able customers. So for WorldLink, during the growth stage, the pricing strategy for its products should be set higher than the market average, given that it has now established itself as a premium internet company. So now WorldLink, even if it sets its price higher than market average, the customers that would be willing to pay premium for its high quality services should be able to pay, should be willing to pay premium prices for its high quality services. So as the company's market share increases, it can like gradually lower its prices to attract a wider range of customers, which the WorldLink is doing right now. So we can assume that WorldLink is currently on a growth phase because it has like established itself in a market. Um, it has a market base already established, and now it is like gradually lowering its price, offering higher range of services in its pricing model. So the next stage would be maturity stage, which would come after this. So during the maturity stage, the market becomes saturated along with a lot of competitors. So, and also the growth begins to slow down as every target customer in the market would have um, acquired some of the services provided by all the ISPs in the market. So pricing strategy during this stage should be focused on maintaining market share by setting prices um, that are more competitive with other companies in the industry. So at this point of time, it's like a pricing war between the companies. So Worlding also should set the price in line with the market average. So for Worlding, during the maturity stage, the pricing strategy for its products should be set in line with the market average, of course. So the company should focus on retaining its existing customer base by providing excellent customer service and offering promotions and discounts in its pricing to incentivize loyalty. So the final phase, the decline phase, in the declining phase, the focus shifts from growth to maintaining profitability and minimizing the cost with the remaining customer base. So Worldlink may implement a few pricing strategies such as reducing prices, offering discounts and promotions, focusing on loyal customers, and eliminating unfavorable product. That means we can just focus on a certain niche and offer products and services to them. Offer pricing according to what the niche wants. So at the decline stage, since the customers are also decreasing, since the demand for the product will be decreasing in the near future, so Worldlink may focus on that particular niche, which still requires the particular product. So and price accordingly. Moving on to the next marketing mix, that is product. So product is also another very important marketing mix. So I will be explaining on how Worldlink um, may work on its product strategy under each market stage, its product lifecycle stage. So beginning with introduction stage, during the introduction stage, the primary goal of a company would be to establish a new product in the market and to create awareness among the customers regarding that particular product. In this stage, the product strategy should focus on product design, development, and testing, as well as the creation of branding and packaging. So in terms of product design, Worldlink should focus on creating a product that is both innovative and user-friendly. So the first stage of a product life cycle would be determined by innovation and user friendliness. So this will help Worldlink to differentiate. This has helped Worldlink differentiate from its customers and to attract the early adopters of the internet who were who were willing to try out new products back then. So this was the product strategy. So in terms of branding and packaging, Worldlink had focused on creating a brand identity that is memorable and visually appealing, as we can see from the logo itself and the products associated with the logo. We could see how Worldlink has created a brand identity that is very memorable and very visually appealing to its customers. So this has helped Worldlink to have differentiated itself from the customers, from its competitors, and to make it easy for the customers to recognize the Worldlink product and the Worldlink offerings in the marketplace. So during the growth stage, so basically we have already talked about how Worldlink is currently in its growth stage. The primary goal of a company would be to expand its products market share and to increase sales. So Worldlink has been actively working on increasing its market share and to increase sales right now. So in this stage, Worldlink should focus on improving the quality of its product by adding new features and benefits that appeal to the customers. As we can see from the past few years, Worldlink has adapted newer and modern technologies evolved in the internet industry, such as the dual band router, now the beacon, and even the 5G technology that would appeal to the customers in Nepalese market. So this has been achieved through extensive research and development programs, as well as gathering customer insights. So Worldlink, as its customer service is one of the best in the ISP industries in Nepal. So it has gathered customer information, on the basis of which it has been able to develop products for its newer and existing customers. So in the maturity stage, let's go to maturity stage now. So during the maturity stage, the primary goal would be to maintain the product's market share and to maximize profitability. So in this stage, the product strategy should focus on product differentiation, cost reduction, and product innovation. So basically, it's all about value-added services by Worldlink. So it can offer value-added services such as customer support as well as loyalty programs in order to retain the customer base during its maturity stage. And finally, Worldlink also can focus on product innovation to keep its product relevant and up to date. So this also can be again achieved through research and development. So now moving on to the last stage, that is decline stage. So during the decline stage, the primary goal of a company would be to maintain profitability while gradually phasing out the product on the market. So what would happen in case of Worldlink would be to focus on reducing cost by streamlining its operations and reducing expenses wherever possible. So rather than focusing on product development, now it should like focus on product just selling the product that is the most important asset to the company, that is the most important product to the company, which is giving the highest sales volume. So we can just retain those products and eliminate other products so that we could easily sustain in this decreasing sales and decreasing revenue model. So in conclusion, the product strategy should be customized to its product life cycle according to the in order to achieve the best possible results. By focusing on product design, innovation, differentiation, we can just simply create a different product strategies for Worldlink in different product life cycle stages. Moving on to the next marketing mix, it's promotion. So let's straight dive into the different product life cycle stages. So let's first talk about introduction. In the introduction stage, the primary goal of the promotion strategy would be to create awareness and to generate interest among the primary target market. So Worldlink can utilize different social media channels. Worldlink has utilized different media channels such as newspaper, radio, television, in order to um, advertise its products and offerings to its uh, target customers. Similarly, the next one would be to promote itself via public relations. So Worldlink has used public relations to generate media coverage and to create a buzz around the product launch during the early 2000s, let's say. So Worldlink has already done that during its introduction phase. So sales promotion, Worldlink can offer different discounts or promotion to encourage people to buy their services. So yeah, previously Worldlink has done that a lot. They have yeah, regularly incentivized their first customers, the ones that were with them in their introduction phase. So that is a really nice approach that has been promotion approach that has been used by Worldlink. During the growth stage, the focus of promotion would be to differentiate its product from its competitors and to reinforce its position in the market. So Worldlink can use advertising to communicate the USPs of its products and services well as its competitive advantage in comparison to its competitors. So this can include advertising in specialized media and online advertising. Specialized media such as blogs and internet ISP review websites would be more beneficial than giving general advertisement that is just for the awareness sake. So that the Worlding can also use public relations in their growth stage. So Worlding can continue to use public relations to create a positive word of mouth about the brand. So this also includes sponsorship and partnership with influencers that Worlding has been actively doing right now. So moving on to the maturity stage. So during the maturity stage, the focus of promotion should be to maintain brand's market share and to defend against competitors. So Worlding can continue to advertise its products and services to maintain brand awareness and to communicate any changes or updates to its offering. So that is what Worlding can do in its maturity stage. Similarly, if we talk about public relations, so now it's to eliminate the negative perceptions about Worldlink in the market since it is in the maturity stage, the product will soon start to decline. So uh, public relations here would be the most important factor, given that the word of mouth could easily influence people right now in this stage. So the last one would be in the decline phase. In the decline phase, the focus of promotion strategy would be to maximize profit and minimize costs. So Worlding can reduce its advertising expenditures and focus on promoting its most profitable products and services only, rather than promoting all the products and all the entire brand and product and servicing they offer. They can just focus on uh, the major products that is selling right then. So that is what Worlding can do in its promotion strategies. Moving on to the last marketing mix, that is place. So let's straight up move on to the product life cycle. So during the introduction stage, Worlding should focus on getting its product in front of right customers. Since the product is new and the brand is new itself, it it is important to focus on making it easily accessible to potential customers. Worlding should consider launching the product in its selected location where there is a high demand for internet services. So Worlding had done that after launching its product in Kathmandu only for the first time. So the company should also be willing to work on to develop distribution channels and partnership with retailers and service providers in those locations as well. So Worldlink, for example, Worldlink had a partnership with real estate developers and landlords in order to provide internet services to its tenants and the buyers that would be purchasing their house. So that was done during their introduction stage in order to maintain the distribution channel. So during the growth stage, the Worldlink should focus on expanding its distribution channels and reaching a wider customer base. As we can see right now, Worldlink has been actively working on to reach all the 77 districts in Nepal. the company should consider expanding its services to its new geographic locations, investing in new technologies as we see that they are doing it right now, and exploring new distribution channels. At this stage, the customer company should also focus on developing strong relationships with its customers and creating loyalty programs as well. So during maturity stage, Worldlink should focus on optimizing its distribution channels to reduce cost and improve efficiency. So the company should consider expanding its product line and improve complementary services through the same distribution channels so that everything can be sold at the same time. Like bundling also can be done. That is also one of the thing that can be done in maturity stage by utilizing their distribution channel. So during the decline stage, Worldlink can focus on its cost-cutting measures to maximize profit. The company can consider reducing the number of distribution channels and cutting costs associated with marketing and advertising. So the focus should be maximizing profits from existing customer and reducing costs associated with acquiring new customers. So that's what Worldlink can done in its placing strategy. So yeah, that was all for my part. Now I'd like to call Khusbu.
So, hello everyone. Am I audible?
Yeah.
So now I'll be talking about the level of competition under each stages. So in the introduction stage, the competition is usually low as the product or the service is relatively new in the market. In the context of Worldlink, the competition was very low because the NTC was the only player who was providing the facility. Likewise, in the growth stage as the product gains acceptance and more customers start to use the product, competition usually increases. So in the context of Worldlink, the growth stage could see the emergence of new competitors offering similar internet and digital services, thereby increasing the level of competition, such as Vianet, Subisu are some of the competitions. And in the maturity stage, the competition is usually intense as the market becomes saturated and there are numerous players who are offering similar products and services. So for Worldlink, the maturity stage could see the emergence of many new players in the market, which will increase the level of competition in the coming days. Moving on to the declining stage, during this stage, the competition may decrease as the product or service become less popular and few players remain in the market. In the context of Worldlink, the decline stage could see the exit of many players from the market, thereby decreasing the level of competition. Moving on to the next slide. So it is also important to note that cultural and location context also create a huge impact in marketing strategies. So firstly, cultural context is important in building marketing strategy because it influences consumer behavior, attitude, and preferences. Likewise, understanding cultural context can help businesses tailor their marketing messages to resonate with their target audience, avoid cultural taboos, and build trust with customer. For instance, Nepalese customers may prioritize reliability and affordability in their internet services, and they may be more likely to choose a provider that aligns with their cultural values. In the same way, location of marketing strategy can also impact the product lifecycle stages of Worldlink. For instance, if Worldlink were to launch its services in urban area, it may experience a faster growth comparing to the rural area. Moreover, language and literacy levels may also vary between different regions and parts of the country, which also affects the marketing messages. Moving on to the next slide. So talking about the cultural and location context of Worldlink in the context of product life cycle, one by one. So talking about introduction stage. So during this stage, the product is usually first newly introduced in the market, and its success or failure largely depends on how well will the message resonate with the cultural context and location in which it is being launched. So when Worldlink was launched, when Worldlink launched its new service in Nepal, it took into account the local cultural preferences and needs of Nepali consumers. For example, the services were localized to in Nepali language and also included the content that was relevant to the Nepalese people. In the growth stage, during this stage, the product gains wider acceptance and starts to see increasing sales. So different cultures may respond differently to marketing messages, and the marketing strategy needs to be adjusted accordingly to the local audience. So as Worldlink services gained wider acceptance in Nepal during this stage, the company also needed to consider how the cultural context impact the marketing strategy. So, for instance, marketing messages that highlight the benefits of the fast internet speeds and connectivity resonate well with the consumers. So, the slogans such as "Chito Baneke," Worldlink also worked really well in this context. Like I was talking about the maturity stage, the product usually reach at its peak sales and face competition in this stage, as I mentioned earlier. So, cultural context and location can impact the maturity stage by influencing the product's positioning and differentiation strategy. In case of Worldlink services, may face increasing competition from other telecommunication companies as they reach maturity stage in Nepalese market. So, the company needs to consider how local cultural context impact its product positioning and differentiation strategy to remain competitive in the market. For example, emphasizing the reliability of its services and providing superior customer support may be more appealing to Nepalese consumer than low pricing at this stage. And finally, talking about the decline stage, cultural context and location can impact the decline stage by influencing the timing and the strategy used to phase out of the product. So, Worldlink needs to monitor the local market closely to identify when its services are becoming outdated or facing increasing competition from other providers. So the company needs to develop a phasing out strategy that takes into the account the local cultural context, timing of the withdrawal, and how to communicate the decision to sorry, how to communicate the decisions to customers in culturally appropriate manner. So overall, the understanding of cultural context and location-specific factors that impacts the product life cycle stages of Worldlink services is crucial in developing effective marketing strategies. And by taking into account these factors, I think Worldlink can tailor its marketing efforts to better meet the needs and preferences of customers in different locations, which can lead to greater success in each upcoming stage of the product life cycle of Worldlink. Thank you. That was for my part. And next slide, please. These are some of the references that we used. Thank you.
You